Vice President Kamala Harris is weighing in on the contenders who could be her direct competition in 2024, the potential candidates for Donald Trump's vice president. And while she has tried mostly to stay above the fray, she did blast one person in particular. CNN senior White House correspondent MJ Lee joins us now live. MJ, why is she going after Byron Donalds?
Well, Boris, obviously there are many Democrats that are watching the Veep stakes on the Republican side really closely, and it's clear that Vice President Harris is no exception. According to Politico, the vice president called up a reporter over the weekend to discuss the short list of potential running mates for former President Donald Trump. And Politico said that while she didn't really discuss any specific individuals, the one exception was Congressman Byron Donalds, a Republican from Florida. Let's play a comment that he made last week that appeared to draw the ire of the vice president.
You see, during Jim Crow, the Black family was together. That's right. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people are always a bit conservative-minded, but more black people voted conservatively.
Vice President Harris telling Politico that those comments are, quote, sadly yet another example of somebody out of Florida trying to erase or rewrite our true history, appearing to be a reference to the fact that Governor DeSantis in Florida has tried to rewrite how Black history is taught at schools in the state of Florida. More broadly, this article was just interesting because it gave you a sense of how Democrats plan on making sure that they describe everyone on the VP shortlist for Donald Trump as being simply a clone of the former president. Boris.
MJ Lee, live from the White House. Thanks so much, MJ.
Kamala Harris is weighing in on her potential VP opponents. The vice president called a Politico reporter over the weekend to say she's eager to take on whoever Trump picks as his running mate. She said, what we know is that Donald Trump wants an enabler. He doesn't want a governing partner. He doesn't want another Mike Pence. And I think that is clear. The litmus test is, are they going to be absolutely loyal to Trump over country, or their oath of office, or frankly, the American people? My panel is back. She also went on to attack Trump's potential pick about abortion. Of course, we talked about it before. Obviously, key messaging for the Democrats. She said everyone on that list has supported a Trump abortion ban in their state or has called for a national abortion ban. She went on to criticize them further on this issue. She's been out there. Harris has increasingly come swinging. Mm-hmm. She did over the weekend. She called out Donald Trump for being a convicted felon and the like. What do you make of her now going after his potential running?
Yeah, well, first of all, Harris has been one of the chief messengers for the Biden campaign on the issue of abortion, but specifically hearing her sort of preview what the messaging is going to be when it comes to Donald's unknown.
It doesn't matter who it is. They're all the same.
They're going to paint them in a broad brushstroke, tying them all to the MAGA right, the MAGA extremists, no matter who the candidate is. And I do think it's interesting. We're seeing this broader shift within the Biden campaign where they're starting to really pivot to general election mode, and they're starting to go after Trump and his allies very directly, whether it's taking them on over legal vulnerabilities or in this case going after the potential vice presidential pick. Mm-hmm. We are seeing them start to make these significant messaging and policy changes. Yeah.
Some Democrats wish they did that earlier. So, I mean, also the question is, of course, who will Trump pick, and the lobbying that's happening publicly and privately. There was one person yesterday on our air, Kristi Noem, the governor of South Dakota, indicating perhaps Trump should consider a woman.
All the polls tell him in these swing states that a woman on the ticket helps him win. The polls just say that. People, 1 in 4 Republican women haven't made up their minds because they want to have a woman talking to them about the issues they care about. And women aren't monolithic. They don't care about just one issue. They care about health care. They care about their children. They care about their futures. They care about having an opportunity to have a business and to have a career.
Hint, hint, pick me, maybe.
I think I know who she might have in mind.
But as far as we know, correct me if I'm wrong, there's only one woman really under serious consideration. That's Elise Stefanik.
Right, and she's been a loyalist to Donald Trump. Now, I will say, when it comes to a woman, early on, Donald Trump was getting a lot of feedback that he should choose a woman. And he would bring it up in conversation. He brought it up once when we were talking to him about something completely separate and said, do you guys think I should to reporters, you guys think I should choose a woman? A lot of people are telling me that. Now, since then, he has come
Many people are saying
I should choose a woman. But since then, he has also said that he doesn't really think it's going to impact him that much if he chooses a woman or a person of color, that ultimately that people will make their decision if they're going to vote for Donald Trump based on Donald Trump. And there are people who just don't like Donald Trump. And there is not anyone, woman or person of color, that is going to change that because they still don't want to vote for Donald Trump.
And because, well, just because, I mean, he's basing a lot of this on loyalty, right? And it's not in the past, Mike Pence was strategic to bring him evangelicals. Typically, you might think of picking someone from more of a swing state, someone who can help you grow your coalition. And none of these appear to be doing that at all.
Loyalty is the word I was going to say, too. And there is one Republican governor who is a woman who has tested her loyalty to Donald Trump. That's Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders from Arkansas. So she is on my possible list here. We'll see. Not predicting
outside
anything,
looking in list.
Yeah, I mean,
or short list, or did Jeff say
dark horse.
Short.
We'll see a dark horse.
Dark
Yeah,
horse.
exactly.
There you
I think-
go.
Although, remember
It would
what
be
Sarah
dark
Huckabee
horse.
Sanders did? She did not endorse him right away, and then
didn't, but
it
she
leaked
came
to the
around
New
to
York
do it, and
Times
they're
that
like,
he called her.
But I think the reality is, this is not the same calculation as 16. He doesn't need his base to rally behind him. They already have. But on the margins, some of these could potentially matter. Doug Burgum from North Dakota is probably still
As Burgumento.
chief among them,
Yeah,
perhaps.
Perhaps. So, you're right. It's not the same as picking Mike Pence because they need to shore up with the Christian conservatives at that point. Now it's, women, educated voters, suburban voters. Does that have an impact? Women voters voted with Biden 57-42 in 2020. That margin has shrunk according to polls. Polls, we'll see if that's actually reflected in how people actually vote in November. But how much is that weighing in on the Trump campaign, on Trump himself?
I don't think that they think they're going to move the needle with a woman. I just don't think. I actually think, to your point, if there was a woman who was going to move the needle somewhat, it would be Sarah Huckabee Sanders. However, I do think he was very upset about the fact that the phone call leaked in which he asked Sarah Huckabee Sanders for her endorsement, and she said, not yet. And yes, she came around like many others did, but that was a point of loyalty for him. There are not many women who are on that side. I mean, I'm not sure that Kristi Noem would move the needle with women or suburban women. He is who he is, Donald Trump, and he is the candidate.
At the end of it, people don't vote on running mate, typically.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, his first rule is really do no harm, which is in 2008, we saw John McCain pick Sarah Palin, which he, at the time, he had said, this is the best moment of his campaign. He said that till the day he passed. But it did do harm.
And female voters across the board, across, race and ethnicity, and then particularly female voters who are college educated, are a problem for Trump, and in suburban areas. And two of the big things that they're going to be voting on, based on 2022 and special elections, abortion and threats to democracy.
I talked to a voter in Wisconsin last week. She said she's holding out hope that he picks Nikki Haley. She's a Trump voter. She's like, I know it's not probably very likely, but she's holding out hope. And that is someone, again, not predicting that, but that is something that would certainly be buzzy and could change the needle in the suburbs.
I would agree with that too. We talked about,
are they actually thinking about Nikki Haley?
Donald Trump himself has said no, but I will tell you there are a lot of people, including donors, who are pushing for Nikki Haley. It really doesn't seem likely, given how contentious the primary got, given what he says about her behind closed doors. But again, there is still a push. They know that is another person, another woman who could move the needle.
Yeah.
Perhaps some of those 25% of voters in suburban Philadelphia counties who voted for Nikki Haley in the primary might vote for Trump.
We'll see. He says he's going to announce it at the Republican convention. I bet he does it before. You never know with Donald Trump.